Acton stated power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But despite his warning, people continue to seek it. The power of a military machine. Financial firepower. The power of attraction. Political power. The power of love. Power exhibited through talent or expertise. Having power in some shape or form provides a variety of benefits to an individual, from having the power to shape your life to the way you want to live, to wielding power over an audience, a nation, or the world. Power can inspire. Power can crush. Power can create. Power can destroy. Power can unite. And power can divide. What if power was conferred? What if a particular power was granted to a set of individuals? How would they wield that power? What if they were granted power which is to be applied in a specific way? What if that power was embodied in a commandment issued towards a particular person, and that particular person was this one's wife? Yes, this one's wife, an individual who functions on entitlement and evades accountability, someone who uses and abuses, manipulates, and is self-serving. What if power could be granted to issue commandments for her? What would this look like? Would she be compelled to tell the truth? Would she be made to reveal certain information? What about making her behave a particular way? What if these commandments could be used to address the many problems, frustrations, and annoyances linked to her? Well, you are about to find out as H.G. Tudor, the Ultra, has granted the power of 10 commandments to certain YouTubers, and you will get to hear what their 10 commandments for this one's wife are. Will they command what you desire, or will they punish, reveal, or save? Let us now find out. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and welcome to 10 Commandments for This One's Wife. You have heard the premise, and now I will confer the power of commandment on my guest, who today is the radiant Blair, the Duchess of Narsussex. Welcome, Duchess of Narsussex.
Hello, HG. Thank you for having me, as always.
It is
The pleasure is all on this end, of course.
Well, there is some pleasure here also, so mutual pleasure occurring.
Oh,
Now, you are granted the power of commandment with regard to this one's wife, the power to compel, to injunct, to improve, or to restrain. How shall you wield the power of commandment over this one's wife? Let us begin. Let us have the first commandment that you will issue towards her.
My first commandment I will issue towards her is you will have to learn to like orange and khaki clothes that are made out of terrible material.
You will have to learn to like the orange and khaki clothes made out of terrible material. Now, is this the case that you're taking her fashion hostage and making her only wear orange and khaki? what have you got in mind for her with this commandment that she's got to learn to like these outfits?
It won't be me making her learn to like these outfits, really. It's the place where she'll be staying is going to make her have to wear these outfits.
Okay.
They're uniforms.
Her uniform, I see. So I'm just trying to think. Home Depot, they wear orange, don't they?
No.
No, she's not going there.
Prison.
In prison.
Federal prison.
Federal prison. She's away to the big house.
Yes.
Okay.
We know she likes beige, but I don't know if she likes khaki so much. But so she might be okay with that. But she'll definitely have to, orange and terrible material.
Well, you'd think she'd got a bit of experience with the orange with old Fanta pubes.
I guess.
Yeah. So she has some exposure to the orange in that respect. So you're saying that she's going to end up in Chokey, in jail?
Yes.
Okay. So the first commandment to tell her is that she's going to have to get used to jail clothing.
That's right. Correct.
What's she going to go to prison for?
You name it.
Well, I'm asking you to name it.
She's probably going to go to prison for everything but being a good person. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I don't recall anybody ever being sent to prison for being a good person. So,
right.
What are we looking at? Is she going to go to prison for murder?
No.
Okay. Is she going to go to prison for getting behind the wheel of a car and driving into a McDonald's and smashing it up?
Financial crimes, fraud, forgery, transferring the most smallest precious packages there are to different places. That's all.
Okay, right. Okay. Yeah. So the first commandment is she's going to have to get used to the prison dress wear. What's commandment number 2?
Commandment number 2 is, sorry, my iPad keeps locking up. You will be wearing handcuffs a lot, but not like you're used to. These will not be your choice.
Okay, so she's going to be commanded to wear handcuffs, although you're suggesting there's some familiarity with that already. Where does that familiarity come from?
Probably her yachting days, Soho House days, all around Ho days.
So do you think that she engaged in being restrained?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course she did. According to Harry, should let you do anything. So if somebody said they wanted to slap a pair of handcuffs on her, she was probably game.
Okay, but being on the yacht, as alleged, and Soho House was prior to Harry. So although he said yes, she'll let you do anything. So you think that was a bit of a modus operandi for her, that she enjoyed being restrained with the handcuffs?
Being a narcissist, she's going to do whatever somebody wants her to do, so she can ensnare them in that way, right? You know the answer better than I would with that.
Well, it's interesting, Duchess, because there are people that will say to me, why on earth would a narcissist be submissive, HG? Why would they be the one that, for instance, wants to be bound with gaffer tape and have a cucumber shoved up there behind, or whatever it might be that gets them off? And the point is that although many narcissists are domineering, and you'll find a lot of DOMs are narcissists, you'll get them amongst the submissives, because when that narcissist decides that they're going to hand over control to the other person, because it's their decision, they still have that sense of control. It's not like it's being done against their will. If you were to grab a narcissist, and shove them in the back of a van and take them off somewhere to a warehouse and truss them up there, that would threaten their need for control because they didn't agree to it. But if they say, I'd like you to put me in an adult diaper and handcuff me to this radiator whilst calling me Shirley, then in those circumstances, because they've agreed to it, they still retain the control. So you think she'll be wearing handcuffs? Okay.
Well, just me, even, as a regular girl, I don't know. I would draw the line somewhere, but some guy that I really liked was like, or I was trying to myself ensnare, if you will. I mean, girls will do things to try that they might even not want to or whatever to try and get the guy, and then they turn it off after they've gotten the guy. But I mean, it just
Isn't that called marriage?
I get that. I wouldn't know. I've never been married. So.
Okay. Okay. So prison uniform, handcuffs. What about the third commandment?
Okay. Thing locks too fast. You will acquire a taste for stale/dry bread, moldy bologna, government cheese, mystery meat. I think they call it Salisbury steak, but I think it's mystery meat, and warm rancid milk.
So that sounds a particularly unpleasant culinary experience, which
It's not
I'm imagining.
It's not supposed to be pleasant.
Yeah, which I'm imagining is prison food.
Right.
Yeah. So there's going to be. So we're developing a bit of a theme here. You seriously believe that she's going to go to prison?
Yes.
Is that a belief or a she is?
Well, I mean, everybody's entitled to a trial, and a jury will have to decide, but it's going to be up for debate in a court of law.
Okay. So you're commanding her to experience these things. Is it that you're commanding her to experience those things because you believe that she should be charged, tried, convicted, and imprisoned, or do you think that, or are you commanding her to get used to these things because you honestly believe that that's where she's going to end up?
Both.
Both. So you'd like it to happen, and you think it will happen anyway.
It should happen.
It should happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Based on her committing various financial crimes.
Among other things. Financial crimes are the least of her problems.
Okay. What's one of the major problems then?
Just moving little tiny precious packages around. That's all I'll say.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So the first three are a prison environment for her. So there's a bit of a theme developed there. What's the fourth commandment?
You will write, or she will, with her ridiculous calligraphy that she thinks so great, which is so great. I mean, it's not that great, but with her ridiculous calligraphy, write handwritten apology letters to all of her, Harry, and the Sussex squad's victims. Okay. She's gonna have to write those. She'll have a lot of time on her hands.
I was just going to remark upon that should she end up in chokey, she'll have plenty of time. And as you know, the narcissist will either never apologize, or if they do, it's false contrition. So it's not genuine, but you're going to make her write them anyway. Why do you want her writing apology letters?
Because she won't want to.
Okay.
She'll hate it.
And what will you be making her apologize for? Will it be specific bespoke apology letters to
each victim? Yes. And what she's done to them.
So would you expect to receive one?
Yes.
And what would you expect it to say to you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for trying to get you committed so many times. Calling your governor, your mayors, your local police office, many offices of things to try and get you committed, thrown in jail, having my Sussex squad make up death threats that you sent, things like that. I don't even know really a lot of what she's done to me. That I do.
Okay, and this is going to be sent to various people that have been on the receiving end of the machinations of Harry also and the Sussex squad. So yes. we're looking at quite a lot of letters then, I should imagine.
Probably, yeah. A lot.
What do you feel about the fact that you determined that you ought to receive one, but knowing that although she'll be compelled to write it, she doesn't mean it? Or does that not bother you? It
doesn't bother me that she doesn't mean it. I know that already. Yep. She's just going to have to write it. That'll bother
me. Okay. And would you like it where she writes an I if she puts a little heart above it and little smiley faces on it as well?
No.
No, you're not bothered about that.
No.
Okay, so that's the fourth one. What about number 5 in terms of these commandments?
Number 5. There will there will be pictures of every YouTuber and their own rictus grins plastered all over your 10 by 10.
By 10 by 10, I assume you mean her cell.
Yes.
So she's going to have the delight of every YouTuber. When you say every YouTuber, do you mean every YouTuber that has criticized her?
The one she hates the most.
The ones that she hates the most. Okay.
Yeah.
Care to throw a few names in there as to whose mugshots will be adorning the cell?
Obviously me. The Royal Grift will have to decide if she has to put her, wants to put her face, or she'll just have the logo.
Yeah.
She doesn't like you. Who else? The Trevor. Well, that's for Harry. Yankee Wally. There will be one of Yankee Wally in there.
Sidley twins.
The Sidley twins. I don't know. Not that the Sidley twins, I don't think, don't get on her nerves, but they're so likable. I mean, how could you hate them?
Well, she can. She can because she.
Well, I guess she. Well, then sure, the Sidley twins. They're just so sweet and cute that I don't know how anybody could hate them. But I guess.
Well, a narcissist can't they? I agree. They're very likable ladies. The fact is, of course, earlier this year with the whole Nigerian first, the president, etc., all of that shenanigans, where there was the Volt Fast that took place, it seems like this one's wife's PR decided to train her sights on the Sidley twins after their father, is it Kirk, did the expose of Mies and Harriman. Because I did a video about that where I explained that quite clearly, in order to maintain favour with Mies and Harriman, who's one of her lieutenants, although he's fallen quiet as of late,
yeah,
because they had criticised some of his work and he threw his rattle out of the pram, it was then that they were specifically named in an article that was put out there as if to suggest.
I did forget. You're right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's why I think that she's got them in her sights, or at least did have back then. So she's going to have the delights of all of those rictus grins staring down at her. Are you going to have it so that they're laminated so she can't sort of tear at them and they're sort of nailed to the wall, they're bolted to the wall?
Well, well, there'll be some on the wall, but what I'm thinking is having them on the ceiling, so we're the first people that she has to look at when she wakes up.
That's a good idea. That's a useful idea. I think if you were to probably ask Trevor, I think he'd probably say that he'd quite happily have a photograph of his hairy backside taken so that she can look at that. I think that would probably be what Trevor's response would be.
Whatever the maximum impact is, we're going to do it.
Okay.
It's going to be done. Yes, this is more like if I was the warden of this prison.
Yeah, your commandments, other than so far writing the apology letters, which is something that she will be doing in this prison, basically your commandments are, you're going to jail and this is how it's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about number 6 of your commandments?
Number 6. Number 6. I'm so awful. When she's being walked through general population, because of who she is, unfortunately, I don't think they'll just let her float around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would, but I don't think that will happen. So she's going to have to be walked back and forth through places. But when they do have, because I've watched TV shows, they have like commissaries where they can go and buy things. So, because
I've watched TV shows, she throws that in quickly to make it sure people don't think you've been in prison. Okay.
Well, the sugars are going to be like, she's been in prison. How would she? I know how they did. I know how it goes. So. Okay. So she So when she goes to, so she's going to be walked through. She's going to get her stuff. If anybody decides to even give her money to buy stuff, but when she's being walked back through, the guards are probably going to be ordered or just may want to on their own because, just turn their heads or turn their backs and let some of the other inmates just take all of her stuff. This will happen all the time as she's walked back and forth. So she really won't even get any stuff.
Okay,
And
so
she better hope that that's all they do to her.
yeah, so she'll be made to walk through general population, and the purpose of the guards turning their backs is basically to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering whether it was also because that's something that would really get to a narcissist, people turning their backs to her because it would be showing contempt. So it would actually have a bit of a double whammy.
Double whammy.
Yeah, it would allow the general populace to nick her stuff, whilst the guards would also be showing their contempt. So
just take her stuff, and who's she going to call about it?
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to make life a bit somewhat miserable for her.
Right.
What about commandment number 7?
She's going to have one toothbrush,
Mm-hmm.
but the toothbrush will also serve as her cleaning utensil for having to, they have to clean their own toilets and stuff. I mean, P. Diddy now is having to clean his own toilet. So she could have a toothbrush and she'll have to clean her toilet with that toothbrush. Now, bleach will be provided. So yeah. I guess she can clean her toothbrush with a bleach after she cleans the toilet and before she has to brush her teeth. If there are still teeth in her mouth, but we'll get there.
We'll get to that point in due course. Okay. So she just gets one toothbrush, and that's there to scrub the teeth, scrub the sink, scrub the toilet as well. Yeah. Right. Well, that's pretty rancid for her.
Yeah.
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 She might stop brushing her teeth.
Well, we'll get to her teeth in a second.
Okay. Okay. So it might be that she'll have particularly foul breath because she's not brushing her teeth, or her breath will smell a bit bleachy as a consequence of having to clean her toothbrush. What's commandment number 8 then?
Well, we all know that she likes to be photographed.
Yeah.
So, in places like that, they're on camera all the time. So okay. She should get her fill with that. But, every once in a while, if it were up to me, I would make sure that pictures of her got out in her favorite puff piece magazines so, to show how she's doing.
Okay,
let everybody know how she's doing.
Right. So you would ensure that she will have to be photographed, and there'll be presumably CCTV grabs that are done of her as she's cleaning her toothbrush. And
I don't think we'll be doing that, but I don't know if the public would like that. That's a secret.
So what? Just sort of seeing her sat there in orange, looking glum because she's going to have to eat some government cheese.
Right, sitting at the lunch table by herself.
Do you think she'll be by herself? Do you think that? Do you think she'll either choose not to bother with people, or do you think people will say?
When people find out what she's done, they're not gonna. Yeah, no, she'll be by herself.
When people find out what she's done, come on, spill.
I can't.
Why not?
Because I can't. Not now. It's not my news to tell.
Can't or won't.
Both.
Okay. So she's evidently done something particularly unsavory, because whilst many people...
Not as bad as Harry. Harry's really done some bad stuff.
Harry, but this isn't about Harry. It's about this.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in comparison, it's not as bad.
So she's done something that people would regard as particularly despicable.
Yes.
Okay. And you have that on good authority, do you?
The best authority that there is.
Oh, really? Been speaking to God, have we?
Well, I mean, I do speak to God. Well, actually, I talk to God. Yeah, but he didn't tell me this stuff.
He didn't tell you that. Okay. So you have it on excellent authority. When will this information become public then?
My guess would be on shortly after January 20th, 2025, 20th, 21st.
I see. So when 47 comes in,
Yes.
wheels are going to be set in motion, are they? Interesting. Well, we shall look out for that and see whether, as a consequence of this, your commandments actually do come into bear against her. It would be rather interesting and poetic justice if that was the case, that as a consequence of you saying you're going to have to get used to orange and eating shit and wearing handcuffs and scrubbing the toilet.
They didn't count on Trump getting elected. Well, a lot of people didn't.
Well, do you think that they did as they believe that they've done, with the expectation of being able to get away with it because the incumbent powers wouldn't hold them to account?
Yes.
Okay. And because that went against them, they're now going to get found out.
Right.
Okay, well, it's all very cryptic but interesting. So
I can't be anything but cryptic. I'm trying to give everybody as big of hints as I possibly can.
well,
without...
I've noticed that you're wearing cryptic black, so that works. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she's going to be photographed, and some of those photographs are going to appear in People and in Tatler and Harper's Bazaar and Town and Country, of her looking miserable, sans makeup, and
probably, we'll get to that. What she's going to look like in a second. And then also, I know from you, of course, that I'll let her look at. Well, she can be allowed to look at social media when these puff pieces come out in her favorite magazines to see what everybody's saying about her. Now, while I guess that will be what challenge fuel or negative fuel or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't avoid, I'm not going to starve her of fuel just so she can't see what people are saying about her.
And also, I've done a couple of videos about the narcissist in prison, and they still get fuel from other prisoners, from the prison guards, from prison psychiatrists, visits if they have them, and so forth. So it's not the fuel crisis that people necessarily think. If you go into solitary, that's more of a problem. But so she's going to be allowed to see what the outside world is saying about her.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Commandment number 9, please.
Commandment number 9 is... I don't know if I should say this one.
Well, you have committed to it, so you're going to. So if you don't say it, I will read it out.
You blurt it out.
Do you want me to read it out?
Yes.
Not like you to get shy.
No, I'm not. I don't know. All right. We hope you like dirty brooms because your roommate is not going to be very nice. And we're going to leave it at that. Everybody can draw their own conclusions.
Okay. Okay, so there's no expansion there.
There will be no expansion on that.
All I will say...
See, this is why I should never be in charge of anything.
Well, it has been said before, All I will say is that there was a period of time where in the British Army, part of the initiation involved a broom handle being shoved where the sun doesn't shine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was part of bullying allegations that took place. But I would just say it's all part of growing up and being British. But there we are. Okay. So that's commandment number 9. So valuable viewers, I'm sure in the comments you can offer your suggestions as to what a dirty broom and a roommate might involve. Some bizarre satanic ritual, perhaps, or is it the fact of getting swept under the bed? You can share your thoughts in the comment section. Now, your final commandment for this one's wife.
So anything foreign to her body will be removed for her own safety, of course.
Yeah.
Meaning like her hair. So we're going to see what that looks like. Her teeth are fake. So I don't even know if she'll need to brush her teeth.
Okay.
So we might not even need to worry about that. But, no eyelashes, no hair extensions, no teeth. I mean, whatever teeth that are hers, she can keep. But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think she has implants anymore.
No.
But yeah, so when she's sitting alone at the lunch table with her crazy, sporadic hair with no
Yeah.
teeth, I mean, those are gonna be, those will be quite a spread. But she wants
Okay.
to be a magazine, so.
So yeah, so the basically the cosmetic adjustments that are taken place,
Well,
other
it's
than
all for her own safety.
to have her hair removed. So you're
Well,
saying that
not her hair, like her extensions.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. So the extensions removed, the veneers removed, false
Yeah.
eyelashes taken away,
Right.
but butt plug, is that taken out?
No, that's probably got to stay in for sanitary reasons. Because if that thing comes out, I mean, she could just be walking around and stuff, just flying.
Goodness me, the mind boggles. The mind boggles. Okay, so she's going to. So you're going to command her to have.
For the safety of the other inmates and sanitary reasons, that's got to stay in. Because,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're going to command her that anything foreign to her body will have to be removed. So certainly that means that has no balls. He'll be surgically removed from her then if he's trying to cling on to her still at that juncture.
Right. Well,
all of that's going to be taken away. So basically, this one's wife's prison experience commanded by the Duchess of Narsussex, isn't it?
Well, it's the prison experience that is allowed on YouTube. I mean, there could be I'm being very general.
Okay, so you could have gone further. There could be an X-rated version of all of this.
Not an X-rated, just a more suiting one, deserving one.
Okay. But essentially, you see that she deserves to go to prison, and because of that, she needs to experience all of the things that have been discussed here in terms of prison life, and also a little bit of added extra, for instance, with the pictures of the YouTubers, etc.
Right, and she is lucky that I'm really not in charge, because she'll be going to one of my camps.
One of Gasser's camps. Yeah,
one of Gasser's camps,
yeah.
Right.
Now, the motivation behind all of this, because there is an overarching theme, because with this, of course, you could have commandments which don't have any interaction between one another. Yours are all linked because it's all to do with her going to prison. Is it that you think that that is the most just outcome for her, that she does jail time?
Yes.
Okay. What have you formed that view on?
I see what you're doing here. You're just asking me the same questions, different ways. Just what I know, what she's done. The stuff that we've all talked about for years, we've all been right about everything, and it's worse than that. I mean, we all know how crooked they are, and their Archwell and their charity and all of that stuff. They're just as corrupt as we thought, only worse. I mean, the kids, it's all true. It's all true. And then some, all of it. The fraud, I mean, just with the I mean, just everything that they do is illegal, pretty much.
I understand that you're not going to say, I have seen a dossier dated this, which explains this, and I've seen a photograph of this, and I've seen bank statements and so on and so forth. I appreciate you're not going to say that, even if you have seen that type of documentation. But is it right to say, let's be frank about this, when it comes to this one's wife, there's a shitload of speculation that's around her. And as you know, I'm not somebody that defends her, but I'm very much always about the evidence. And there are lots of instances where they will speculate based upon a reasonable proposition. So, for instance, I will do that from time to time, because I'll say, because she's a narcissist and we understand the way that a narcissist behaves, it's possible that a narcissist will do this, for instance, tell a particular lie about the provenance of something. I haven't got any actual evidence that has been done. It's just that a narcissist has a greater propensity to do it than not. Therefore, it's a reasonable point of speculation. In other instances, we have people making wild speculations which just seem to come out of, they've pulled it out of a hat. And accordingly, it's wanting to understand that you've seen material that supports what you're saying.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't be risking, you know, the things that I've been saying, and I don't know how much attention you pay to my channel or my page or anybody else's channel for that matter, but the things that I've been saying, like, I wouldn't put my own self at risk financially, civilly, or getting physically hurt if I wasn't sure. So that should be evidence.
Okay.
The claims that I've been making.
Yeah. Okay. So you've not answered my question, because you said I'm sure, but of course your standard of sure could be very different. So if it was me, I would be saying I am certain about these matters because I have seen documentation I've seen evidence that supports.
I've seen things. Yes.
You've seen the evidence.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. As I say, I don't expect you to tell me what that evidence is. Not yet, anyway. I'll wheedle it out of you at some future point.
Yes, I've seen things. Yes.
You've seen things. And would it be right to say that if the current administration had remained in situ, those things would not have been acted on, or less likely to be acted on?
I can't say that the things, and this is just my opinion now.
Yep.
That things maybe wouldn't be found out or exposed, but as far as them being held accountable for it, no, they wouldn't be held accountable.
They wouldn't be held accountable. So the powers that be would take steps to ensure that there was no comeback in relation to what had taken place.
Right. I mean, you can't stop, I mean, there's people out there that know what they've done. They might not have. I mean, there's people out there that know what they've done. I mean, plenty of people. I mean, there's other. And Harry's so stupid in being who they are. You don't think other countries don't have their own dossiers on them? To use that again, I'd love to see Vladimir Putin's file on those two. Or
I can't see them going to Russia anytime soon, though.
No, Putin's, because Harry's so stupid and reckless and has gone around and done what he's done, both of them. Yeah. All foreign intelligence agencies have been following these two idiots for years. So somebody would have done something, or they pissed. I mean, it would come out. It's just, would they be held accountable for it? Would be the no, if people like Biden were in there or not. I mean, Harry pissing off Putin, Harry doing these things all over Nigeria. You have a British prince and his wife running around the world, getting involved with all these big players and doing tech transfer. All this stuff that they've been involved with. You don't think that would be of any interest to most foreign intelligence agencies around the world? Absolutely. Just for blackmailing purposes, or to blackmail the royal family or whatever. But they've all kept track of him. They're so sloppy and reckless.
Okay. Well,
does that make sense, though? I mean, when you put it into that context, it's like, well, yeah. I mean, of course they would be following them around.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, there we have the Duchess of Narsussex's 10 commandments for this one's wife, all on a theme of incarceration and impending imprisonment. What do you think of those commandments? Do they accord with what you would want for her, or should they have gone further? Has your itch been scratched, or are you hankering for more? You can let me know what you thought of Blair's 10 commandments in the comment section. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you to Blair, Duchess of Narsussex, for her 10 commandments. And thank you to all of you for listening.
Thank you.